All right, everybody, welcome on into another Saturday stream. Where today we're continuing with our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Um,
Mhm.
I am your dungeon master, Ace, rocking the good old John's Joe right here. And today we have our fellow players going from top to bottom. We have Paarth. Oh, you didn't catch up anything on that. I didn't hear a single thing you said. There you go. Next we have Vladimir, who's played by Aeros.
Hello, welcome on in. Take a seat and enjoy chaos.
Exactly. And then finally we have Valkin, played by Breaker.
Hello everyone there, and welcome to the stream. And as you may notice there, we are doing a dual stream, so that means that if you want to see, if you're here on my side of things, you'll want to visit Ace's channel in a new tab there, and mute one of us so you don't get a double, and see a preview of what we are seeing in stream. And if you're on Ace's side, then do just the opposite. And
Hell yeah.
welcome all in our last member.
Yeah, welcome on in, Nenewza.
Yeah, I'm still getting stuff up. I'm ready.
No worries. This is going to be...
They're all around.
This is going to be a bit more of a narrative sort of session today. Not a huge one, just a nice short session. So,
Alright.
but also I have to make sure I like crank you up like all the way, especially in OBS there, Breaker, just because I can barely hear you.
That's same.
I do apologize. My microphone there. I had some technical issues as well, so hopefully to those on stream, I've been able to more or less equalize my mic with everyone else here. For those in Discord, I do apologize.
And this
It's
is
okay.
when Dawn learns that you don't leave shiny-looking microphones laying on the floor within mini drink distance.
Why do you have this compulsion to hide the shiny things?
Because he is Durgan.
Shiny, shiny, shiny.
Exactly.
Shiny, shiny.
Well, anyway, now we've had our introductions to go through. Let's do a little bit of a recap and get to our session. So, from what happened last time, you had just finished escaping the kind of underground-ish temple of Shar. After finally fighting your way through an onslaught of, in quotation marks, cultist, and it also with shadow-bound creatures and voidlings, to even at the point of you seeing a projection of yourself influenced through Shar's power. And you successfully were able to defeat your alternates, or rather, shadows of each other. And as such, you successfully made your way out from the temple itself. Even being able to kind of scour the area just to make sure that there was no one within a range itself. You did see that there was a prior encampment that was close by the ruins, and then you also had noticed that there was a separate little camp or so that was set up by the bards that you had met in Phandalin, also known as the Band.
The
band. Which you had talked with them for a bit and just kind of seen what had happened, and they had given you a riddle of sorts, or multiple riddles to solve. And once you did actually complete upon that, you were given some information about the location of the Wave Echo Cave, which is which I have to provide a little bit extra information about the location itself before you make your way on over to HelmHold to resupply and prepare yourself for the final assault. As some of the information that you were provided was that there seemed to have been some sort of a settlement, or rather kind of like a makeshift like camp that was set outside of the cave itself, which did seem which some of the guards did resemble the higher guards that you encountered at the beginning of you entering the temple itself. So it did show that there was a bit of influence with your unfortunate enemies ahead. So with that, I'll go ahead and kick it on over to show our map and everything. Oh, that was a little weird. And just to kind of continue from where we left off. So after being kind of told this information of the Wave Echo Cave and, you know, all this other details and such, were your plans, did you decide that you wanted to rest here for a little while longer, or decide to make your way post haste to HelmHold?
Well, we already had our long rest, so we met them in the morning and had our brekkie.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah.
So,
I think we decided we'd head back and try to figure out what happened while we were gone.
yep.
Yeah,
And-
making a stop over at HelmHold.
Yeah, since, we kind of have been gone for a couple months there due to some sort of time warping nonsense there being in a magical temple cave thing.
You know, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Mm,
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah,
all
we
right.
see wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey blasphemy stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yep. So, you decide to go ahead and, you know, make sure that you have all your belongings packed and ready to go, along with the cart and your some of your newer allies. And as you kind of finish packing up, the head of the bards group that is before you, aka DeMarco, he walks on over to you all and is just like, "Before you go, there's some extra things I should tell you regarding the cave. If you so wish to please."
Go on.
Well, and it just kind of like looks like back and forward and everything like that. He's like, "Before I tell you, one of you must lend an ear."
lend an ear?
Vladimir restrains a chuckle for a brief moment and goes, "Well, I would if I could pop off an ear."
Oh, that's so funny. No, but seriously, I need to whisper this to you. I can't just say it out loud. It'd be terrifying.
Paarth shovels
I guess-
forward closer so that Vlad is next to DeMarco.
And with that, Vladimir just kind of leans his head down.
So for everyone else, you kind of hear like whisper, whisper, hoo, 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 like stuff like that.
And then he actually says that, then people are whispering.
That's what it sounds like for the rest of you. But for you, Vladimir, it is this is what he kind of whispers off to you. It's just like, once you're in the cave, I've heard tales of there being dangerous creatures that guard the interior. You know, creatures that are of how do I put it? Terrifying aspects. Whisper, whisper. And just so I really need to make sure that you're careful, because it feels a little weird for the guards in that area to not explore the area before, you know, having a full encampment. So I think that they might have a bit of trouble with the monsters inside.
Paarth kind of just tilts his head, trying to look back, trying to figure out what the two of them are whispering at. Maybe just trying to read the facial expressions on Vlad.
Go ahead and give me an insight check if you want to, or no, perception using hearing.
Perception? I'm more reading Vlad's face, but
Oh, you're right. Okay, so insight then if you want to do that.
perception is my better roll, but well, I guess I'm a Durg. I perception first always. 20 plus. So I'll do my perception. So it's either that or it is that.
Okay. So how would Aeros, how would Vladimir react towards this hinting of warning?
As DeMarco is whispering to Vladimir about this intel, his brows kind of furrow a little bit in confusion and concern, where it's like, that is kind of strange that they didn't scout the area first before making encampment. Are they in league with these things? Like, he's thinking this to himself.
Okay.
So Paarth just sees the brows furrow and the figurative cogs are turning in his head.
And he says one last thing before he waves you goodbye. It's just like, the only thing that I've heard from a dwarf that had seemed to discover the actual caves itself is that it's full of sticky situations and bone dry sort of features of sorts. So make sure that you keep yourselves on a high guard when in there, or else you'll end up 5 feet under like the rest of them. Whisper, whisper.
Once DeMarco finishes, Vladimir pulls his head away and just kind of nods once towards him and goes, be sure, we'll be sure to keep that in mind. Once we get to a safe spot, I'll pass it on to the rest of the party.
Sounds like a plan. And he just kind of like gets away from the whispering and such. Like, if you want to make sure to celebrate your hubris, we'll be in Phandalin.
Well, that means we'll have a place to stop at when this is all said and done.
That's exactly what I just said. Now then, scoot along a little while we write our chords of music and such.
Duh.
Paarth murmurs softly as he starts to turn. I have never been in a song before, seeming still fixated on the fact about being in the actual ballad.
And as all that happened, was there anything else that anyone wanted to do quickly before you all depart?
There's only one thing I will be doing on parting, but it's brief.
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. Anything for you there, Norelor, or?
Not particularly. Just usual getting up and getting ready. I'm still trying to get everything sorted on my end. Why did the computer decide to be a pain in the neck today?
Sorry, I'm also just like looking for other music, so just set the mood and tone. From your just some like response there, Norelor, it's just like you can hear Aknon just kind of respond, just like grabbing his neck too and kind of rubbing it. It's like, yeah, this is going to be a bit of trouble, but it's not like I haven't faced anything worse than this. So, but we should be making our trip as of right now.
Said, yeah, I was thinking as soon as we're all together, we leave at once.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then
If the party starts giving indication that they're about to go, Paarth seems to just keep eyeing the satyr until he eventually catches her eye. And as he starts to part ways, he chortles out the chorus of Baroque of the Butterfly, which is a Fae song, just to see if she will reply back with the second half of the verse.
let's see. Okay. So as you chirp away at those notes, she does like turn towards you and recognizes it, but she more just kind of gives a smile and waves and everything as more of an appreciation. So
Paarth raises his head up as he walks out then.
and with that, we will make our way on over to HelmHold. And so as
going?
you make your... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, someone's in the room with me.
Oh, you're good.
Helm's home. It's one helm of a town.
It's... That is so true. Yep. And then just as a general recap, just to kind of let you know of how long of a distance it usually takes. So, right now you're kind of nearing a more central area of the Neverwinter Woods, roughly within closer to a onboarding river. Now, usually this would take you on over to Neverwinter if you follow the river straight forward. And you kind of recall like at least a path or so that the druid who helped you from Thunder Tree over to Cragmoss Castle, you were kind of near a similar area. So you have at least a general guidance at the most part of where you might be able to travel to get back on down to HelmHold. And HelmHold is kind of near the middle route on the high road going going south from Neverwinter. So the question stands is, what sort of direction do you want to go in regards to getting to HelmHold? Do you want to try and find the river route for it, or would you try to traverse through to get back to Aknong's place and then kind of go from the green and make it to HelmHold?
Honestly, whichever way is the more direct route probably makes the most sense, unless Aknon has a reason to go back to his home first for anything.
Same.
Yep, would agree.
Agreed.
Mhm. So with that, let's see, because this is roughly 15 miles.
Yeah, speaking
So
during
let's see.
travel, I will be doing an action, just to give you a heads up.
Okay. Okay, so I was just trying to make sure I double check the mileage and everything for it. So yeah, I would probably say if you're trying to go for the shortest route in order to get on over to HelmHold, it should definitely take you about perhaps like a few hours, nothing too crazy. Though I will need you all to go ahead and the person that is going to be leading this route, I need a survival check from.
Alright.
Just so that way you can traverse the the forest and such of it.
I have a +4 survival. What about the rest of you?
+1.
I believe that's raw, so +3 for Norelor. Though she does have knowledge if need be.
+2.
And what
Also-
about Daddy Vulcan? And Akanon, for that matter, and Clovis. I would imagine Clovis probably has the best survival, doesn't he?
Let's see.
Does Clovis beat a 4 from Paarth?
Well, let me pull it up here quickly and see. It's the
Okay.
one thing I didn't have pulled up, bruh. I am prepared, I swear. No, he actually matches it. So yeah, his survival's a +4 as well.
Then let's have the Harper roll. Paarth will be a bit distracted, so
Wait, so who's rolling?
Clovis, the Harper.
You're having Clovis roll it? Okay.
You said Clovis has a +4, right?
Yeah, but don't you have a +4 too? Or-
I do, but I
doesn't
said
someone-
that's why I said let's have Clovis roll it because Paarth will be distracted shortly.
Okay. All right. Well then, letting the fate of the dice hold you. Let's see if you get lucky. Okay. So with that,
So that's a 19.
Clovis, Clovis leading the expedition through the dense forest of the Neverwinter Woods. You find yourself going in a right direction as he constantly looks up towards the sun and marks off different locations. It's not the most smooth ride there, or at least as you travel. But it does seem like he knows exactly where he's going. Though he's definitely trying to make sure that he's traversing around with the cart, as he's used to being more on foot for it. And as you travel, I would need one of you 4 to make a perception check.
Before we do that, should I state what I was going to do during travel?
Oh yes.
So-
what do you want to do during travel?
Shortly, once we're on the road, of course, the cart is having a more rough time than Vlad is on Paarth's back because dragon back. But Paarth will move alongside wherever Norelor is and give her a gentle nudge and say to her in common, Norelor, I recall that you used a health potion earlier. May we have your empty bottle?
There we go.
You said she nods and would give it to him.
Paarth gestures for Vladimir to take the empty bottle.
Vlad kind of does a double take, then just takes the empty bottle. What are you proposing?
As a form of answer, Vlad can see that Paarth starts to curl his tail all the way around, so that it's next to Vladimir's side, since he still has the prehensile tail from his pseudodragon lineage. And he says, and Paarth turns his head just enough so that one eye can look at him, and states to Vlad, "Be careful not to prick yourself, but unless, of course, you want to nap. But hold my tail up against that bottle and very gently squeeze. We're going to make your weapon a bit more effective for our next fight."
It takes a moment. Like, Vladimir kind of jumps a little bit as soon as he sees the tail just suddenly come into view, like the tail stinger. Like, ugh. And with the explanation, he pauses a second and he goes, "Oh, I see now. All right, let's see if I can do this. If I hurt you, I'm sorry."
Paarth continues, I have not used it since I've grown larger, but by now, my poison must be much more potent. If you were to pour this on your blade before your next attack, we may be able to fell an enemy in one hit.
Good point. And he's gonna try to follow Paarth's instructions to harvest the venom.
If I recall, Ace, is it a medicine or a survival to handle dangerous liquids?
It's a medicine check.
Okay,
Which
do
I
a
have a-
medicine check.
Which I have a +2 in.
Roll it.
All right, let me find an open spot here. Here we go. Yeet!
And I assume Ace once a day per long rest, right? For milking it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's an 18.
18. Okay. Yeah, I would say that even though that you're not really used to extracting venom, at least off of like a creature such as Paarth, with different mutations and augmentations towards a general pseudodragon, you're at least able to get a vial of pseudodragon paralytics.
And
So,
And I assume one use.
yes. One use is a bonus action. You can coat a weapon, or you can throw it on an enemy as an action to pretty much cause the paralyzing effect upon an enemy.
okay.
So, and you can put in your notes, the DC at the time of you getting it is 15. If they fail a Constitution of 15, they will be poisoned. If they fail that by 5, they pass out immediately. Or 5 or more.
Okay. Why did I not do this before? I forgot to open up the proper character sheet.
No worries. I'll write it in our chat here for you.
Okay, I just got it open, so... Okay.
And while you do that, was there anything else that people wanted to do during your travels?
I would definitely like to engage my dad there in trying to figure out what all exactly happened with the exiling and everything, and then also see about talking to him more about the family curse and whatnot.
Okay. So, which one would you start off with, though?
Start off with the exiling part here.
Okay. It's like, you wish to know more about your exile. You know, finger quotations, exile.
The all questions, or two topics, rather, I wish to speak with you on. The nature of what happened there exactly. We're pulling out the now betraying parchment. These went from the right and proper documents, therefore my for my journeys in preparation for the throne to this thing that has suddenly labeled me a traitor to my own home. And then what is within the family curse? I need to know more.
Well,
Don, try to keep putting power to your voice. I know you're trying to emote, but you have to speak up or you just fall right off of us.
Ah, right. And there. Do I need to say that again there for people to hear well?
I started to
Uh,
struggle near the end there.
So that last portion there, as well as knowing more about the family curse.
he kind of gives a deep sigh. It's like, as you know, for general tradition itself, it is customary to send the it is customary for a sort of journey to be made before a rule of kingship can occur. Your uncle did it as well, and his father did it as well. But, well, you know what I mean. But this situation, it turned more hypocritical than others. As you can recall, he had been claiming it was going to be a great honor to be able to write up the specific journey that he was going to have you take care of, as to make sure that you are trustworthy of the throne once you actually fully acquire it. But it was nothing more than a scandal on his end, after what I was able to discover. Even when I was filling out the paperwork for it too, I could feel something was off. Some details weren't matching up, at least from what was provided, so I did a deeper investigation, and it turned out that the documents provided to both you and to me were forgery. It was for exiling of criminal reasons. It turned out that there was an assassination attempt against someone in our closer council. One of my closest allies within the circle. And he just kind of pauses and just with like frustration, it's like, my backstabbing brother of mine decided to use that as a means of removing you from the courts. He's always been jealous about our gifts with our bloodline, as he doesn't have that connection. And when I confronted him on it, it really was a personal matter to him, claiming that the bloodline was more of a curse than a blessing upon us. And he is seeking fit to purify the bloodline. When I tried to stop him in that regard, I was beaten mercilessly and sent on over here to Faerun for their other purposes and such. I just wish I could warn you before things got to this point.
This...
Yeah.
I do not know what to make of this. What did he have to gain? He could not continue the bloodline. Why would he?
That is... Yes. From what I recall, he had told me, at least in his madness, he claimed that this is a time of kings to die and for new rule to occur. He says he wants it to be more of a equality upon everybody. There is no person higher or lower than another, but of all equalness. Everyone shares the profit, everyone shares the debt. But that would merely just put us in ruin, as it already has been.
Tell me more about what he's trying to do.
If he is able to keep his rule and prove that he can essentially reignite the fire within our people. At least of what I was able to gather, this is the most information that I know of, being around him and kind of talking with his or at least not really talking with, but eavesdropping on the council. They first plan to make a ruin of the Sword Coast, terrorizing the smaller cities and towns and settlements, and making it more of a political uprising to try and gain a bit of trust within the people. You know, break away against any of the tyranny within the major cities. Next is Neverwinter, and if Neverwinter falls, they'll go on over to Baldur's Gate, and then Waterdeep. The moment that Waterdeep is secured, that is where most of the political reign will acquire, leaving him to the rest of the Sword Coast being overtaken by our country. This could lead into a full-scale war on Faerun, and your uncle is willing to sacrifice our bloodline, our people for this. But I don't know why he wants to do it. It's purely out of madness that he would want to do this.
Has Noel been hearing this conversation?
Yeah, this is pretty open. Nothing too
So-
secret.
I feel like we should admit, if they don't know that the leader of this is a Mad King, I feel like our allies should know. Because a Mad King would do something different than the Stain Kings.
Yeah, that is definitely true. But I mean, there have been there have been cruel kings, and there have been mad kings, but never in my life would I imagine that we would be under the rule of a cruel mad king.
This is... Cannot believe that my uncle would do this. We never behaved like this when I was growing up.
Hearing
I'm
this.
not-
Oh, go ahead.
It's like, I just don't know what's become of him, and if it's possible, I would like to stop him without going more of a violent route. But if it need be, then I don't want you to be the one to strike him down. I'll do it with my own hands.
At that point, as Vladimir is hearing the conversation after wrapping up with Paarth's tale, he broaches up a little bit, going, "See, what I don't understand is why go through all of these trouble for territory that really benefits us, does not benefit us at all. We've been self-sustaining for a while, and yes, we have a little bit of drought, but we've had wars. We've always been able to recover."
It's not as easy as you think it might be. During the time of those major changes, and this is something I neglected to tell you too, as not to worry you, but the drought has been worse than we imagined it would be. Something within the soil is just not letting any life grow within our general reach. And it's such as we predicted that the drought may last a year or two.
Paarth kind of butts in out of curiosity, just passively asking, by chance, are your waters poisoned like the Feywilds were?
That is what we imagined it would be the case, is that we may have had residual damages, but we have yet to really look more into the situation, especially with how my brother has reacted to it. But if there is a direct connection in that regard, then
We
that
have
would
a
need to be the
working
next thing
theory.
that's cured.
We have a working theory that we believe that it was Shar who was the one who poisoned the Feywilds.
The Paarth does have point, because when we were around in Feywilds, we found out that somehow, whether it's Sharn's followers or what have you, it was Shar's influence that did corrupt Feywilds, and we had to assist in getting, what's the word?
The special orb? The special treasure of the Fae?
And Vladimir he quickly changes his language to proper Sylvan, the Vulpine dialect, and says the word purification process. Comes back to common and goes, effectively to help clear the corruption that happened there, by reclaiming an orb that was touched by said corruption.
Wait a minute. He kind of like pauses. And it's like, oh, you said it was from some sort of force by Shar, correct?
That's our working theory, duh.
Out of the guise of being from Luna.
It's Teliotive.
Or Saloon, yes. Under the guise of being Saloon.
If that is the case, no, it can't be. When I was imprisoned in that temple, there was that one cleric, the High Clergy. She referred to herself as a Christina. She was the one that should have mainly been more dressed in her attire of Saloon as disguise. But I recall them, at least at some moments of time, doing enchantments to to more or less use Shar's power as a means of draining from a separate land. I wonder if they meant that. Because if that's the case, then my brother would be the responsible for the drought in the first place.
I would not put it past him, considering how much he damaged the Feywilds. The poison that Shar created was killing all life in our rivers.
Put it past him.
And with our ancestry, and our land's history, it wouldn't be surprising to know that if whatever happens in Feywilds happens on our lands.
You are the children of the Feywilds.
No, he actually thought that we could pull power from the Feywilds without affecting our own land?
I believe it's more of a case where he may truly have gone mad.
I'm beginning to wonder if greed is involved with this.
We would
I
have
suspect so as well.
We would have
go
to
ahead.
ask the constable to know more, as I know very little of your lands. However, the Vulpines are still regularly referred to by the Fae as the children.
We will have to do much to try to right that. The
Indeed.
druids, other people have no other explanation?
Norelor, are you trying to say something?
This lag spikes. I'm dealing with Discord having some lag spikes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that was happening to me the other day as well. Haven't seen it today, but I'm not putting it past it.
Hmm.
So
If only we
Paarth,
had.
sorry.
No, it's like if only we had some sort of evidence that connected my uncle to working with that cleric. That would be a substantial amount of evidence to at least show that he was in contact with her, and she may have actually corrupted the Feywilds, which could have led to our drought.
Well, the only thing that we would have had is the fact that there were sightings of, well, not were as in past tense, we did spot them. There was a couple of royal guards at front of temple when we first arrived.
And doesn't Valkin have a certain two couple of papers in his pocket now?
Here.
Out of character, I thought Vulcan did take something off of his fallen friend, didn't he?
There.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. So
Because
like a contract or something.
Yeah, it was a letter from the uncle indicating to stand guard and protect the priestess.
yep, so there's that, and Paarth will also comment aloud. Also, that cleric seemed to have recognized Norelor for one reason or another.
If only we could have asked her more questions. But
Well,
at least
there's a
Oh, go ahead.
problem with that.
yeah, I could tell from
She was a bit insistent on not being in our presence. She tried offing herself with a blade, but I was able to stop her. But I couldn't stop her from, taking a dip.
She threw herself into the dark lake of Shar.
Dams. Well,
Uh.
all I'm going to say is that, at least with the information that you've gathered, I'm going to have a big discussion with my brother, because he just kind of grows frustrated. It's hard for him to gather words to fight past his emotions. It's like, I can't believe he would betray us like that.
Neither am I.
Paarth looks at Valkin's dad for a moment and then comments, "There is one other thing. I do not know how to address you, but you and Clovis. I've been keeping something quiet for a while now. I am a guardian of the Feywilds. It is my duty to protect the Feywilds from corruption such as the one that happened. But due to my absence and the corruption of my companion, that's where all this damage happened in the first place. My companion was turned into an abomination that we had to take down. As for myself, I have now inherited that place, hence the change in form from my former self."
Clovis, after hearing this, he kind of puts his head down a little bit. He's like, yeah, about that.
Paarth tilts his head, looking more directly at Clovis.
I knew that you were a guardian from the day that I first picked you up.
Paarth blinks and tilts his head the other direction, giving the same confused expression he would as if he was still his pseudodragon self.
When me and Aknon were originally contracted to assist with the situation, which we now know how cruel it is, and that's why we wish to help you out with this. We were contracted to make sure that you didn't take your guardianship early and to delay it as long as possible. The reason is because his uncle, pointing to Valkin, he figured that when it came down to finding a reason to send Valkin out, it was to corrupt the Feywilds and to cause a drought in the first place. So we were contracted to make sure that you didn't take the stand and a weaker vessel was made.
Paarth looks confused for several moments. You mean you acquired me from the Forest of Worms to prevent me from being able to take the stand as a guardian? To ensure that there was a weakness in the gates for them to invade with?
Just doesn't even respond.
How is that even possible?
Your uncle has a very excellent knowledge about how guardianship works within the Feyrunes. Or not Feyrunes, the
Feywilds.
Feywilds, yes. I'm very tired. In the Feywilds, and he's had several meetings with the main with the constables at least that were there, and getting to know exactly who was within those, who exactly is going to take that charge and how exactly to corrupt it. He's been doing a lot of investigations as he's a wise man for his age. And when we were contracted to take care of it, I did not want to go through with it the first point, but I was desperate, and I took the job because we were both in ruined situations, and we were promised with the things that we were directly needing. I needed a way to get myself back on my feet, and Aknon was looking for a way to reconvene with his beloved.
Paarth looks at this confused, and a bit of betrayal is visible even on his draconian face as he processes this, and then eventually hesitates before asking, "What was I before you took me?"
Aknon speaks up, is like, "You were still you, just playing around in sorts, but you were very close to taking your guardianship before we acquired you."
So this is why I was always being called by the Fae non-stop when I was a whelp.
Exactly. They were trying to find... We made a contract dealing with them in exchange of preparing you for your guardianship. You would occasionally need to go back to rest. And since all we had to tell them was that we figured that you weren't ready yet, so they needed a new one, and your friend was taken in, but we had no idea of the corruption that was set before them. That must have been something that occurred from Shar's influence.
My companion was corrupted with a beholder of all things.
Yes. If we had known that would have occurred, we would have never taken the job in the first place. As I've apologized before, I'll do it again. We deeply apologize to you all of the position we put you in, but we're willing to make amends by taking care of this.
Thinking back, this seems to explain some things. You never seemed that alarmed when I started to learn to cast magic by singing. You in fact encouraged it all these years.
Yes. a while into our contracting with your uncle, we later realized that this might have gone too far, but we couldn't break it just yet, as according to, our rewards and such. So we figured we would actually prepare you for the situation and the time coming of your guardianship. But we shouldn't have even done it in the first place of taking you away.
This is troubling.
Here Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Vladimir kind of broaches up a little bit and goes, "Well, at least one good thing came from all this."
Paarth nods his head up and down, turning his head to take a peek backwards at Vladimir.
At least by you being involuntarily pulled out of equation, it saved you from getting hit with that corruption. Unfortunately, yes, your companion did get hit, which is I still feel bad about. But it did save you, at least.
I will sadly never hear her songs again.
It's kind of bittersweet moment here.
There might be a way, though. Perhaps. As Ivan speaks up. It's like, there may be a way to fix all of this, and it might be at the Wave Echo Cave. As has been told, the Forge of Spells is a powerful altar that allows for some very intense magical items to be created. If we could harness that before my brother can, we might be able to make something that can, I don't know, amend the situations at hand. Remove a full control of corruption, replenish the lands itself of our kingdom, and maybe even bring back your friend there.
That would be one heck of a spell.
You might want to try that again, Breaker.
That
You're a
would
little
be
quiet.
One heck of a spell. Or
Paarth
spells,
nods. Sorry, go ahead.
Or spells. I cannot imagine the kind of raw magics that we would have to be working with to reverse so many things.
Paarth nods. Even banishing a god from a plane of existence is incredibly difficult. Being able to shut Shar out of the Feywilds would be a major boon.
Well, as long as the fairy orb is there in its rightful place, then that corruption should be all but prevented. But I'm more talking about, at least within our land, of replenishing and restoring its potential. And yes, it is a tall order, but Aknon, there might be something we can do about that, though, correct? He doesn't really say anything, Aknon. He just kind of continues walking, ignoring the conversation.
Addressing my father, do not be too hard on him for this sort of talk of restoring lives and such. That is what pulled him into their service in the first place. I am certain he is quite wary of such things.
My apologies then.
It is a difficult thing to have hope for to get back a lost one. I rather not get my hopes up for my companion, for if I wish for it too hard, the temptation may corrupt me.
Understood. And with this kind of talking going on, did someone give me a perception check by chance, or did you already give that to me?
I'll give Paarth one since, that's his thing.
Should I do a perception check myself? I think I'm the highest one of the group.
I'm
I just
assuming
need
this
one
is a
person to
sight,
do it.
smell, or sensation, so... Yeah,
This is more based
23.
on sight, and as you just kind of traveling, just to make sure that you're staying aware of your surroundings.
Then whopping 23.
Okay.
All right.
So, I would say that with all of that sort of conversation itself, that your journey throughout the Neverwinter Woods is actually, with the help of Clovis, a lot faster than you would imagine it to be. Almost as if your prior adventures within the Neverwinter Woods and traveling about was at a snail's pace. As you come across the clearing of the old nest at Crackmaw's Castle, going south and more towards the west. As you make it out from a clearing that's kind of in a more open, plainish area with some occasional trees. As you can kind of see on the hillside, Helm's Host. As you can make yourself back onto the road and be able to enter through.
Catching a glance at the helm again, Paarth looks a little annoyed and takes a glance back at Vladimir. I am not wearing a muzzle again.
I don't think we'll be going through that. I'm sure that they'll recognize us.
They better.
As Vlad just gives a reassuring pat along Paarth's neck.
Well, Eknon, would you think it best that you lead this greeting? So they know us. You are the more familiar of everyone here.
Huh? Oh, yes, I can do so. And he takes charge more of the walk than anything, and goes right next to Clovis as they lead you towards the entrance of Helm's Host.
That is a wise idea. Everyone else, let's fall back a bit. Let them get a good look at Aknon first. We do not want them to assume that we are assaulting them again.
There. Don't crowd, but otherwise I think we'll be okay.
Paarth drops back about 40 feet from Aknon's lead.
And Norelor stays close to Paarth for this.
All right. Sounds good then. So, you make your way on over to the large gates of HelmHold. As Aknon kind of waves towards a guard or so that is up on top of the wall. What's everyone's passive perception?
Passive perception, I believe Vladimir's is at 11. Let me verify that real quick. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Yeah, right there. 11.
12.
14.
Loading up the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
17.
17. Okay. So I would say that Norelor and also Paarth. Wait, Paarth, what was yours again?
14.
14. Okay, yeah. So I would say like Paarth and Norelor, you two are the only ones that notice this. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna switch the music on over to just make sure it's okay.
All right. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the restroom, but I'll be listening.
Okay, sounds good. Just changing the music.
If it goes to epic combat music, I'm gonna be concerned.
No, it's not. It's not. It's more dainty, just changing the atmosphere itself. But as you can see Akon waving towards one of the guards.
Well, have you changed it? It hasn't
and-
applied yet.
Oh, my apologies. I applied it on stream, but
Oh, you're doing it in stream. You're not doing it in game. Got it.
I can apply it to the game. I forgot to do that, so
There we go.
all right. Is that good?
Yep.
Did it play?
It has changed.
Okay, cool. So, as Akanon flags over one of the guards and everything to open the gates, you notice actually that when you initially arrived, there was a pretty substantial amount of men on the kind of walls of Helm's Host, just keeping guard and everything. You notice that there's a significant decrease of people this time. As the as the gates. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
She said, I hope it hasn't been a toll taken dealing with this. There seems to be less people here.
Yes, I do agree. Clovis says we should just keep our wits about us just in case.
Mhm.
And the gates of Helm's Host are opened, and you are welcomed inside. And it does seem to look like that there is a significant decreasing of immediate population within the local area that you were at. A lot of its training areas were seem abandoned of different equipment, even some pieces of like training armor and such, and training weapons. And most of the stands and tents that were there originally, at least within the local area that you recall being a part of and resting, seem to be closed up besides a few. And as you are welcomed on in with no hostility this time, a kind of foot soldier welcomes you on in. It's like, well, welcome on in. Welcome in, Akanon. And he just kind of gives like a firm handshake. It's like, pleasure. Where is everybody? It seems to be dead here. The foot soldier just nervously is like, yeah, so we've been getting a lot of different disturbances across the Sword Coast. And it's been really bad since you were gone. We haven't seen you for a couple of months, and our forces are pretty divided right now. Apparently there was some massive goblin assaults near some of the major cities, and it's a little rough right now. Even Neverwinter's been taking it the hardest.
Lower size, so his plan has begun, eh?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been because of anything crazy, but ever since you got rid of the goblins, there was a moment of peace, but it seems that they're now kind of totaled together in some big tribe of different goblinoids. And I know that most of our forces had to go to Neverwinter to defend it, as while they are a major city, their forces are still a little bit diminished from prior assaults and everything. So, and then even then, we've been getting hit with some assaults recently too, and it's been kind of nonstop for the past few days.
Well, something has certainly riled them up. We've been hoping that someone here might enlighten us as to that. We've only heard stories that the goblins have gotten worse.
At that point, Vladimir slowly turns to Valkin and goes, something or someone?
There's potential for either.
Hmm.
But details would be ideal.
Duh.
Was there any information about how exactly this has occurred? And the foot soldier just replies, "Oh yes, we have our lead strategist actually nearby the main chapel area, the chapel itself, and I can take you to her if the rest of you want to settle up on a tent and resupply as if you need be. You seem all pretty exhausted despite your travels."
I suppose we can get into that later, but yes.
Akanon turns to you all and it is, "I'll go ahead and take care of the information gathering. The rest of you take some time to relax throughout the day, and we'll figure out a plan later today. Okay?"
Duh.
Norelor just nods.
Paarth just gives a glance back towards Vlad.
That sounds good. We can take care of a couple of things ourselves while we're here as well.
I
Oh,
say
well.
to Vladimir, I would very much like to take some time alone and reflect on what sort of changes, holding up my paw and kind of looking at it a little bit more closely. What changes I have befallen me. But I am going to need a place of privacy around here and someone to watch. In case someone gets a little bit too nosy.
Well, I've got a couple of things I need to do as well. I need to perform maintenance on my revolvers here. And hopefully I might be able to make some kind of upgrade to these things. And if time permits, there might be opportunities to get training with Paarth and then finish training with Norelor. If
Paarth
time
nods.
permits.
I would suggest that you and your father spend some time together to talk about the candid ways there. Paarth kind of looks at Valkin and then very mildly accusingly at the father for not telling him about the werewolf thing.
So, I would like to look around and see if there are any more secluded areas in there that I could kind of go into, maybe even someplace I can close a door.
Within the general area, since this is more of like a huge training ground with some facilities, you can secure yourself your own private tent, and these tents are a bit more fortified than a usual like tent cloth. Like this is more like a heavy blanket more than anything, so it does block away some sound for seclusion.
Okay. Alright. I was looking to see perhaps something more like behind stone or something of that nature.
You would probably have to go to a separate district for that. And that might be a bit too far of a distance to. You could definitely travel to a separate like district within HelmHold, at least within that general area. But I'd say if you do some time to investigate and everything, then you can find a secluded area.
Alright. I would certainly like to do that.
All right. Before I have you go ahead and roll, what was everyone else gonna do?
Well, Paarth just reminded Vlad that they need to stock up on potions and equipment. I have a few items in mind. I don't know if you'd rather me go through the shopping list with you after the game so that it's not during stream time.
We can do it during stream time. I don't mind. If you just have like a few items, just go ahead and send them directly to me. I'll take care of the others first, and then I'll go to you. Okay.
Okay.
And then Vlad and Norelor, was there anything that you were wanting to do at this free time?
At that point, Vladimir would look over to Norelor and goes, "Well, looks like we've got time to kill. You feeling up to finishing our training?"
She nods.
Okay. So with that, Vlad and Norelor, go ahead and give me just just give me a D20 check. No modifiers applied. Just to kind of see how your training goes in that regard. And then Valkin, go ahead and give me an investigation check to see if you can find a more secluded area.
Ooh, those are good rolls.
Yeah, wish I knew where mine went though. Oh, there it is.
Here, is it open spot? I can take this. There we go. Blech.
Vulcan's had a lot on his mind.
Very much so.
All right, Valkin, what was your roll?
It was a 7.
7. Okay.
So
What about for the 2 training?
Vladimir rolled a 19 and Norelor rolled a 16.
Okay. I'll start off with those who are training and then get to you there, Valkin, since it'll take a bit longer for you. So, I would say that for an hour or so for you, Vlad, and also Norelor, that you pick up your training actually within a official training grounds this time. So you have a lot more that you can use and utilize. So you train for about an hour and such, and which it does exhaust you less than it usually does. In Norelor, you find yourself gaining a feat of strength. As we'll discuss this after stream of the specific fighting style that you may get, or proficiency within a specific weapon or like type of weapon.
Alright.
So, yeah.
And put down shopping list as far as I'm aware so far, unless Aeros, you have ideas as well. That'd be potions, strong rope, a hook or grapple for the rope so that it can be secured to something. And also, we still have to figure out whether or not we want to try to invest in getting a tiny chariot, or if that will be too cumbersome to bring around.
And I would also like to add to that shopping list materials for the Find Familiar.
Okay. Oh, damn it. It keeps doing this. It's so annoying. Okay. There we go. I keep like popping out to a different tab because I have to grab something extra, and then I'm just like, oh, it just resets it. Like, so, so with that, your training kind of completes in that area between Norelor and also Vladimir. Valkin, you spend a little bit of time roaming around and asking some guards if there's a bit more of like a secluded area for you to rest in and such, and one of them does lead you to a unused a guest cabin, which is not like backed behind stone, but it is essentially like a wooden, like kind of portable log cabin. It can be quickly disassembled and everything for good mobility, and then pretty much delivered upon like larger carts and then put back together pretty easily. But it is up right now, and it's not being in use if you want to use it.
All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use that one then.
Okay. And then with that seclusion, what were you gonna do again?
I wanted to particularly start to focus on what it was that I felt back here in the temple there whenever those shadow creatures were being destroyed.
Oh, yes.
Yep, and generally kind of work with my kind of these wear form powers in general there. Since Vladimir is off with Norelor, I probably would have kind of pulled my father with me there because I know how testy these guys are, and I want to make sure that there's someone on the lookout in the event that I get a little bit too distracted.
Yeah, well, they're okay with you doing what you need to do, as you now have like the trust of the Helm's host soldiers and such, knowing that you have the same enemy as them. So
Yeah,
you're okay with it.
Yeah, though they have this thing about warlocks there, and they don't know I'm one at the moment, so I'd prefer to keep the anything in that might cause them to go, hey.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So, okay. So you take your father to that secluded area and you kind of just talk with him about what you were thinking about. And while he keeps guard of it, he actually instructs you to settle yourself in a comfortable position sitting on the floor. Whatever is going to make you feel relaxed.
I sit down with my legs crossed in there and kind of follow his direction there.
He instructs you how, like a therapist instructs someone to calm down and to clear your mind, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose, and exhaling out through the mouth. Picturing
Pause real quick. Nenewza, we're picking up your fan in the background a little bit.
Dang it!
Oh, I didn't even catch that. That was a good catch. Okay.
Better?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
there we
stopped.
go.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for catching that, bro. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So getting back to it, he kind of gestures you of just like closing your eyes and taking deep breaths in, exhaling outwards. Having you picture just being a part of a void, feeling the shiver of absence of warmth and light come across from you as you are surrounded by an infinite potential of nothingness. And I need you to go ahead and give me an Arcana check for this, as you were trying to attune yourself to the void.
Since I'm getting what sound like a direction aid there.
Yeah, go ahead and roll with advantage.
All right. First roll.
I just realized DeMarco must have named the void because it's devoid.
Yep. Devoid album.
Okay, I'm going to do a luck on that here.
All right.
What the heck, die? There. Another luck point.
Oh no.
Oh.
Fine. Third luck of the day.
Oh my god.
There you go.
All right, and since earlier in the cart there, I'd like to use my so was it there the Dark One's own luck to add a D10 to that.
Okay, go ahead.
For 14. What is with these
Jesus.
die rolls?
Apparently, the dice gods want Valkin to be mentally traumatized.
Yeah.
Something like that. Good grief.
Okay. Oh wait.
There.
Where's the?
Wow.
All right. So with that, changing the tune of the music to this.
I've seen this many bad die rolls in from one person in a row.
Trust me, I had that the other night. It was so fucking bad. But anyway,
We had a whole session where you couldn't roll over 10.
Yeah, that was literally the last combat session.
Mhm.
But anyway, so as you try to focus and just being in tune with the essential power that you draw from with your bloodline, all you can really hear are just distractions of your worries and anxieties as it disrupts you for a moment, causing you to break into a sweat and you feel yourself losing your grip. But your father tries to comfort you, and by saying just focus, you can do this. Once you have your true connection, then you'll be unstoppable. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check one last time with advantage.
All right.
With
As I'm gonna
quadruple
flip back in.
advantage.
This is the only time I'm stacking advantage. No.
I mean, considering what's been going on, that may not be a bad idea.
5.
Well,
You
you
need to find a
advantage. You have
different-
advantage.
You need to find a
Advantage
different
roll.
spot to roll. There you
we
go.
Hey, there you go. Okay.
I was going to say, I was going to tease one last thing I was going to say. We're going to have, they say, roll 4 d20, and he goes, oh, roll a d20 4 times? No, add them together.
Okay. I will say that you meet it beats it. So that was the DC of the check. As before, it was easier. It was a 15. But then because you lost focus, it was harder. So with that, you were able to regain focus, and you can feel essentially a shift within your within your body, almost as if something was kind of popped out of place, and it shifts as you feel an immediate shiver down your spine, and everything kind of aligns perfectly. As you've now begun the first step into training your advanced lycanthropy. However, due to your first failure, you're not going to be able to get access to both options that I provided you early on.
Hmm.
You're either going to gain access to the Voidling lycanthropy or the Moonlit lycanthropy. The Moonlit lycanthropy is the one I provided you that is bulkier and more of a berserker, and gains strength in the direct moon. Really attuning deep into that beast side of your lycanthropy. And then there is the Voidling lycanthropy, where your focus is more upon drawing the elements of pure nothingness. It focuses more on giving bonuses to your spellcasting side, and being able to really show just how dangerous it is when you take everything and you provide nothing to someone.
Hmm.
But you can only choose that access to one form, and you replace it with your current one.
There. So, okay. I see what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
There. Let's see. I would say, despite the tries to focus on the void and everything, the frustration that I was having with with the document there, the utter lack of warning and information, the fact that we've been gone for so many months, nearly undoing everything there, that kindles more of a rage within my chest, and my body bulks out there, and shifting to the moonlit form.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Bulk. Okay. So I think I provided you with the details already of those bonuses. But I have to double check. I think you wrote them down on your character sheet.
I got them here. They haven't been transferred to the character sheet as of yet, but I will be able to do that probably post-session here.
And just to kind of let the players know of what bonuses you get, would you like to read off the bonuses in your Moonlit form? Or, as it's called, the Moon Blessed form?
I also have just to make a comment is look, Valkin changed from a werewolf to a werewolf.
More like physical bimbo to himbo.
Alright, let's see here. So, I get a +2 to AC, and there, bites and claws break through magical resistances, and there, damage is 2d10 plus strength, and there, for the bite, and healing, and the damage dealt with the claws there, 2d6 plus strength.
Okay.
And then let's see, I think that was, and then upon a kill there, charisma mod times in the my level in temporary hit points.
Okay. If you also haven't written this down, there is
Mhm.
one small bonus you get. So,
Alright.
you gain resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, like how any lycanthrope does. This can be broken to by magical means and by a silvered weapon.
All right.
Yeah, though once per long rest, you can for about, I would say, a minute, you do gain immunity to those options. Though it still can be broken past by magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, in addition to silver weapons.
Okay. So resistance to non-magical or silvered bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Yep. And then once per long rest for 1 minute, as a bonus action, you can turn that to an immunity instead.
All right. Once per long rest. Immunity for 1 minute. All right.
Okay. And with that, I would say this roughly takes you about an hour of the ritual time or so to kind of get that well in tuned. Though you do feel very exhausted after kind of completing it. But you are very eager to try out this more berserker and beast-like form within your encounter against your assailants.
Yes.
I do wonder, though, if Norelor would potentially look at that form and think he was blessed by Saloon.
Potential. And Norelor will be back there and be able to give opinions shortly.
We find out Saloon just really likes dogs.
Saloon's a dog girl!
What can I say? She's there's Shar, she's a cat woman, and then Saloon is more of a dog person.
Oh, what did I come back to?
Perfect timing.
All kinds of
Oh,
That was beautiful. I love that.
oh God, I love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Go ahead and repeat for
okay.
her.
So I basically, because Breaker Valkin, I should say, went through the whole thing and he attained the moon-blessed lycanthrope form. And I made a comment that I wonder if Norelor would see that and think that Valkin was blessed by Saloon. And then Paarth made the comment of, oh, Saloon is just a dog person. Like, she's really into dogs.
Well, something has been mentioned. She is a goddess of good liking. Believe it or not.
Goddess of what now?
Good lycanthrope. You know, the good
Oh,
line.
shit! Then this will fucking work perfectly!
Exactly, and that's why I said that, because it's she also is like the goddess of lycanthropes on the good side. So
good lycanthrope, aka good boys.
Yeah.
Exactly, like werebears and good werewolves and such. So yeah, that's why it's funny. Oh,
The goddess
actually,
of good
Breaker.
boys.
Yes.
There is one thing I forgot to mention, and this is just because I'm really out of it today, and I do apologize. While in your werewolf form, You can. So it is a bonus action to transform into it, as you feel a lot more in tune with it.
Mhm.
Though you cannot cast spells while you're in that form. But if you're concentrating on a spell beforehand and you shift, you can still concentrate on that spell. So it has that ruling of like wild shape for druids.
Mm.
So that is the
That could be
big
useful.
downside. You cannot cast spells while in that form.
All right. So
Ooh.
can't cast spells, but concentration continues.
Yes. And I figured that that's a good bonus to provide for you, especially because of the once per day immunity for a minute.
Mhm.
Since you're gaining a lot more Marshell bonuses, but being able to retract away from your original spellcasting focus. So,
Gotcha.
Oh yes, I got reminded of something.
Mhm.
Ace, what material are the handles of Vladimir's? They're not machetes. What are they again?
Cleavers?
machetes.
They are
Yeah,
machetes.
they are machetes.
What is the handles made out of? Is it a type of metal or is it some non-metal material?
It's
Uh,
go ahead.
so yeah, so the interior metal is the Damascus, and essentially it has a leather wrap with what looks to be more of a sort of like elven, like ivory wood, that is used as the pommel, or pommel? No, pommel's the.
The pommel is the
correct.
thing right before the handle, the handguard.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, the pommel is also like essentially a Damascus as well. The only thing with your Sylvan Cleaver there, Vlad, is that there is actually like a wave formation in the blade. So like someone essentially crafted it to perfection where it has these beautiful wave formations into the machete.
Yeah, it's been forged in Damascus style.
Exactly. Yeah.
In that case, with Paarth studying it, can Paarth deduce that if he casts heat metal on it, Vladimir's hands are safe?
Oh,
It's a
I see
pretty-
what he's doing.
So with the machete, it's a pretty close grip. Like it's not like an extended sort of handle like how a short sword is. I would say with a successful check, I would allow of it. Though honestly, because there is a wood element to it in addition to leather, it might cause the handle to burn up. Because it is like an extreme heat that is being applied to the blade.
Reason
But
for it
since
is I was looking to see whether or not if there was a way to modify it so that it would be protected for that spell being used on it.
Yeah, it is a magical weapon. So I would say that you can apply it to it and it won't break.
Oh, if it's a
Um,
magical
th-
weapon, magical weapons have resistance built into them against being destroyed by spells.
Exactly. So I forgot it was magical for that purpose. So I would say that for the Sylvan Cleaver you could do it, just not with his other one.
In that
But
case,
yeah, I would say you could.
Yeah,
Sorry,
sorry.
let me finish.
You
Okay.
finish.
I was gonna say like I would say you'd be able to apply to it. I would still require Vladimir to just do a check just to make sure that the heat is not like causing him to not be able to actually wield it.
Okay.
Would it be a difficult check if Vladimir and Paarth have preemptively discussed it and practiced it? Because the whole
I would
point
say
is
if
that he won't be taken by surprise like Paarth casting it on an enemy's weapon out of the blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say it's your in order to actually keep a hold of it, I would apply the usual spell effect of heat metal. And it would use your spell save DC. Though if you do practice with it, I would decrease the difficulty by 2.
Okay, because like the way that it normally works is if the spell as written is if the like entire item, or at least the part of the item that I'm casting spell on, is metal, that's where they have to do the, they have to resist or drop it or take the damage. Whereas if
Yeah.
it's a non-metallic object that they're holding it by, then I can't burn them by it.
Right. But the thing is, though, too, is that, like, because of how small the handle is, like, the handle fits perfectly in Vlad's hands. And you wouldn't want to, like, have a weapon where you're holding it. And if you, like, say, for instance, like, if your hand rubs up against the pommel, which is metal, you wouldn't want to hit that, especially because you're going to burn yourself and drop the weapon.
I thought you said the pommel was also ironwood.
No. Like, the pommel, including the blade, is a metal. The blade
so the
itself is
pommel's metal too.
Damascus. Yeah, the pommel is
so-
metal too. Just the handle. My apologies.
Okay, so you're thinking that the pommel, which is the back of the handle, which is behind Vlad's hand, and then the hand guard is also metal.
Yes.
Okay.
So only the grip would be safe.
Yes. But
So-
I will say that if you have a way of covering up your hand, like with a specific like heat resistant glove, then you would not need to worry about that in general.
Would we be able to
It's
get
just that
such a
there
glove?
is the
Wool?
yeah, like there is a potential for you to, like, when you go to attack and you hit the metal and it's heated, you're like, ow, shit, and drop it. And of course,
Well-
Vlad, you wouldn't want to drop it because the valuable item.
The way the spell's written is either they have to roll to prevent themselves to drop it or they drop it, but if they continue to hold it, they take the damage. That's how it's written.
Exactly.
So I don't want to neither make him drop it or make it deal damage to him. So that is why I'm specifically asking about, is there a preventative measure we can do, or something where we like either modify it or get him a glove or something so that premeditatively we can protect him against the effect of that spell.
Yeah. So you can do one of two things. You can either get an upgrade to, like, say like a glove or so that has like an enchantment on it for like fire resistance, or like be able to just have like a pre-made like glove that just allows you to like hold on to the metal and everything, or hold on to the blade and use it without being burned. Or you can take time to train and to adjust your hand better, so that way you're not hitting the back end of the metal or the pommel.
So he
One of
just
the
roll a
pommel or
different
the
check
hand
then
guard.
for that.
Yeah, that is something that you would have to train offhand with.
I would suggest
And if
best
you
of
do well
both
enough in-
worlds, train and get the glove.
Exactly. But if you get the glove, you don't need to do the training.
Well, thing for the shopping list for us to consider then after game.
Okay.
Because I have a feeling you can't roll up the details on the cost of that right off the cuff.
That one's a bit more customized, so I would just do like a small variation on it. Though for the rest of the items, I could definitely we could do a quick shopping thing and then call it there, or do like one last thing before calling it.
I would say like a wool glove there wouldn't be too difficult to come by.
Yeah, because wool naturally is fire resistant.
Wool is really neat. I never
Yep.
knew that.
Yeah, 100% wool. Like, it has to be legit 100% wool, though.
I had no idea
That's-
that wool was fire resistant. I figured like any other hair it'd burn.
Nope. When woven, they're like fire blankets. They are 100% wool, and they will smother fires without.
Oh, that's
catching.
cool.
Oh.
I learned something today. But we shall look into that off stream, just that we're not figuring that out the whole stream. But that would be really cool, because yes, Paarth absolutely wants to suggest that to him, because I looked into this ruling before with it, and it's regularly approved, and it looks like Ace is on board with this as well. But effectively what it does is if I cast my heat metal and I maintain concentration, you deal 2d8 plus, or do you get the plus? I have to double check that part, but at least 2d8 additional damage every time you strike with your sword.
Yep, 2d8 fire damage. So.
Yep.
Which is something that I will allow because I think that is a really cool way of boosting up and supporting somebody. So.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to support someone because if Paarth doesn't have a target to, that is covered in full plate metal that he can abuse, he can cast it on Vladimir's sword and just keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
Paarth can actually upcast it to 3d8.
Oh.
Yeah, plus of the damage you already do with it, you could grapple a target and just keep the blade in them.
Yup.
Ooh.
Or better yet, Paarth can grapple while Vladimir just keeps stabbing.
That's so rude. But anyway, we'll discuss those details later.
Yeah.
And I know for Paarth, you wanted to go shopping, which Clovis can help out with to make sure it's more kind of communicated properly.
Considering that Vladimir has the money because Paarth still doesn't have he has a single coin to his name. We just need to figure that out. I wrote it down in the chat though. I put it both in our Paarth channel, but then I realized I should probably put it in the other channel where everybody can see it. But whatever number of health potions we can buy, some strong rope. I believe the strong rope is silk rope, and simply either a metal hook or a grapple hook, whichever one is necessary for tying off a rope to various things, so that, for example, if the party needs to climb up a cliff, Paarth can just fly up there, tie the rope off, and throw it down, right?
Yeah. Well, each of you should still have 50 feet of hemp rope, and hemp rope is pretty strong.
If other party members have rope, as long as one of us has a hook as well, great. If anybody's missing a hook, that's all we need to buy is a rope, or as a hook.
Yeah, the starting backpacks have like 50 feet of hemp rope included.
Yeah.
So, unless you have hooks, we just need one hook then.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have proper hooks for that, so...
Yeah.
I believe the hook itself is dirt cheap. It's like measured in silver, I'm pretty sure.
Let me see. Well, so do you want to go through it? Because I don't mind going through the shopping stuff right now. So.
I'm good with it, considering how simple the shopping list is.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so it was potions, rope, grappling hook, and the materials for Valkin's Find Familiar.
It looks like we can discard the rope part, but everything else, yeah.
Yeah, and then also potentially something for
the glove,
like a glove or so to fit for Valkin, or not Valkin, Vlad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, with that, I would say that as everyone is doing their own necessary trainings and isolations, Clovis goes with you on over to any of the general open stands within the area itself. And you only notice that there's really only like a few shops that are open. Luckily enough, there is like a general convenience store tent open.
7-Eleven store.
Pretty much. Except they are all out of ices. So.
Aww.
I know. I'm sorry. I rolled it, man. I rolled it. There's no ices.
See, we should have gone to the Canadian one. Got a Slurpee.
You'd have to go like way north, like that's like
Way
past the crags.
Yeah, it's like way past Baldur's Gate and the crags.
That's what I was saying. Way past
Exactly.
Baldur's Gate, past Neverwinter to Always Winter.
That's more like Frostmore. But anyway, so I would say like the only ones that are really available is a small convenience tent, for like that acts like a convenience store. In addition to a forge with the prior forge master that you had met, and actually it actually seems like there's an extension that was recently built into the convenience store as well that does carry a mixture of concoctions and such, that have the sigils of the Helm's host, and also their own like deities and everything. And which one do you decide to go to first?
I will direct that to Vladimir.
The one that's with you is Clovis.
Yes, but as I said before, I'll have Vladimir come along because, well, firstly, leave the gloves for him, and buying just potions as well. Potions.
Well, at this time, he would be training,
In
unless you
that
wanted to do it
case,
after he was training.
we'll have to do the glove last then. So in that case, Paarth will just go with whichever one Clovis thinks is best because really, I want a hook and potions. It's very simple.
If we can go to the convenience one then, and you two will walk on over, and you see before you, it is a young-looking male and a young-looking female. The male just about like breaching into adulthood, and like the woman being like a slight bit older, but they both kind of welcome you, just like like welcome on in, like Clovis, like how can we help you today?
Did you say this
And
was a
so-
stand or a building?
It's more like a stand, like a tent stand and everything for like open market, sort of like concessions.
In that case, Paarth will approach, but then sit down.
Yep. You do notice they actually have despite the size of their tent, they actually have a lot of good stock in items, as they do seem to be well prepared for really any situation. They've got like medical kits, and they've got like herbalism kits, and you do spot that there is like a rack of like bubbling potions and such, and just a wide variety of different items.
So, this was the hard part. I don't know what funding we have, but naturally we should probably stock up with a bunch of potions that we can afford, along with keeping consideration of leaving enough funds left over for the glove.
I'll say that you have like a group fund, which is just the total together, and if everyone is okay with it right now, then you would just have the funds on you, and Clovis would help pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, leaving money aside for the glove, we will have to just figure out how many potions the party can afford and if there's any other provisions we need. Because I'm pretty sure that it would be best if each of us has at least a couple of health potions.
How much gold does each person have?
Let's see.
Might be best for everybody to post in the group chat so we can tally it.
Sorry, have sleeping while he's trying to go full asleep.
No worries. Also, if you already have any potions on you, list how many potions you currently have so that we know that we don't need to get any more.
Yeah.
Un momento chat, as we're doing some mathematics right now.
I would say we probably want a whole bunch of like basic health potions and maybe one strong one. If we do get the one strong one, it's probably smartest to put it on Paarth, simply because Paarth is the most mobile character, whereas naturally Norelor already is our healer, so obviously if she goes down, that's where Paarth should be the one that carries the additional potion so he can bring her back up.
Exactly. Though potions are pretty expensive, though. So
They are.
Shoot, I didn't keep track how many potions we used in the last fight.
I know that you at least gave one to Valkin's dad. And I don't know if any others got used. I know
I think it's
Valkin's
a-
dad did something to get Norelor back up, but I don't know if it was a potion.
No, it wasn't a potion. It was a
Yep.
healing ability. Okay, 164 gold, 45 silver.
And Vladimir already has 2 normal potions of healing, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Okay. So, so far that is 90 silver with 293, 457 gold. And all that is left is for Norelor, if you have any sort of total for that sort of stuff.
Hold on. Remember, I was trying to keep the list of everything we had.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I realized there was some stuff I haven't modified with, so I was going to do that real quick.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no worries.
See,
Just to give myself a ballpark, what does a normal potion of healing cost?
Usually it's 50 gold pieces.
Okay, so we can only probably get a couple of those without draining the finances.
how much did greater potions of healing cost? Because I want to distract those we already bought.
Let me take a look actually and see. $5 price of healing potions. I'm just getting that pulled up right now.
Because I know we
Okay.
bought 6 of them last time, but I didn't subtract them from the total.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so it looks like that according to what I'm seeing here, that oh god, this is like, sorry, it's like not pulling up properly. Because there is like pricing for it. Oh, here we go. Okay. So you do see that there wait, what the fuck? What is going on here? Because I do see that there is like 3 different types of healing potions within the actual inventory. You see that there is a well stock of standard healing potions for 50 gold each. In addition, you do see that there is a more circular bottle that does seem to have like a similar sort of like healing elixir in it, so potions of greater healing. That is around 100 gold pieces.
Yikes.
And then you do see that there is an option for a superior healing potion, which actually looks more like it's a bottle design that is in more the shape of a diamond within its structure. So with a supreme healing potion, let me just double check. Oh no, sorry, not supreme, superior. My apologies. A superior healing potion is about 200 gold pieces, and restores 8 4-sided dice plus 8.
I think we'll just go with the normal potions because the goal of them is more to get our party members back up rather than to super heal them.
Mm-hmm. Though Clovis, before you kind of settle on something, is like, well, like, hold on, like, I understand that you're looking for some good prices there and such, but you know, we're kind of in the middle of a pretty severe situation, and we've done a lot to help Helm's host in the prior past. Any opportunity for discount? As he's trying to barter to see if he can reduce the price for you.
Mhm.
Which should be a skill that he is excellent with. So I'm just gonna kick it back right here. Oh yeah, it's like
He's got bartering.
mm-hmm. He'll use a point of luck.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Okay. Let's go ahead and see.
Yeah, I guess that would help a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how much of a reduction it is. Okay. So all cost of items within the store, because of his suaveness and his exceptional luck at this sort of stuff, now gives you a 50% discount of items.
Oh
So-
shit!
Whoa, okay.
So your
Ooh.
your standard healing potions are, 25 gold. Your greater healing potions are, 50 gold, and your superior healing potions are now 100 gold.
Ooh. There we go. Now we're talking, like final battle sorts of preparation numbers.
Mhm.
And Renewza just dropped the what she's got.
And that's not what she has personally.
Well,
You know,
what you've got in your notes for party bank?
So is Party Bank including what you two posted earlier?
no, it's completely separate for everyone's funding.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't
You
even
could
know that we
spare
had the
for-
6 potions of greater healing. So what do you guys think I should get for supplies, you think? Because you would have been able to tell Paarth ahead of time, hey, we got this many potions, how many more do you think we should get, kind of thing?
Fair few there because our party has grown a bit.
You do have enough currency to get 4 superior healing potions for each of you. Well, like one per each person.
Yeah, getting back in the fight there completely would be very good,
Mm-hmm.
especially for frontliners.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
I
either
would-
we get more of the smaller potions so we can get people up more often, or we get the bigger potions so that somebody's up and ready to fight.
Because you said these superiors were 100 each.
That's correct.
Mm.
And you roll 8 4-sided dice, and then you add 8 to the results for healing.
Okay. Let's see, party grand total here, real quick.
Ah, so a diamond is also on the list for Vivify?
Yeah, it stays has to be the diamond still has to be worth 300 gold.
But for that, you get a 50% discount. So it'll be like 150 for that.
Nice. So she apparently has what she needs to cast a spell since summon fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also, usually your materials there, Breaker, they cost like 10 gold in a mixture of incense and also of, what is it, like incense and also like candles, I think it is, or charcoal.
Yeah, charcoal.
Keep
Yeah,
things simple.
so that'll be like worth.
Charcoal's
So-
cheap.
Yeah. So I would say enough to cast it once, you would have 5 gold. Wait, does it use? Oh, it does use the materials upon use. Okay, so yeah, it'll be like 5 gold.
There. All right. Definitely want to cast it. Be capable of casting it. Probably at least 2 times. And there, if not 3.
So Ren,
Yep.
just simply subtract 150 from your gold value right now, and just assume you've got it to make things simple, because obviously Paarth will just deliver it.
Okay. My brain is really not wanting to function at the moment, so I'm just gonna have the computer do the math for me.
Mhm.
That's fine. Just simply saying subtract 150 gold and write in that you got a diamond.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Oh, and then also, since you were looking for a grappling hook, usually it costs about a gold, but I would say 5 silver, and then you'll be good with it.
Okay. So far we have done then grapple hook, 5 silver. How many potions are we getting, guys, and which types? We would have agreed on this before sending Paarth down, so.
Yep.
I would. Oh, go ahead.
I would say at least 1 superior per person, and there for basically a health reset. If I'm remembering or can I get a reminder of the die for superior?
8d4 plus 8 for superior.
Okay.
So
Yep.
we are getting 1 for Paarth, 1 for Valkin, 1 for Vladimir, 1 for Norelor, 1 for Clovis, and 1 for Aknon, and 1 for Valkin's dad. Is that what you're saying? 7 of them?
And there. If not 7, there at least 4 in there, because a superior would give somewhere about between 32 and 36 on the average roll.
So 4 or 7, guys, because that's a lot.
Yep.
I would say 4.
Yeah, I was going more to 4 myself.
Mhm.
What was the word on superior? What is it?
It's superior. Because the other one is supreme, and that's like the max one that you can get. So it's superior.
Okay, so grappling hook, 5 silver pieces, 4 times 100 gold pieces for the superior potions. Do we need any more greater? Because it looks like we have a fair bit. We've got 6 of them sitting in the bag still.
Yeah, what I gave Valkin was a BOGO potion, essentially. Buy one, get one free type of deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest that we get at least 1 normal potion for Valkin, again, because normal potions, they're cheaper, but they're so that we can get somebody back up.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 for Valkin, and Norelor has the 1 healing potion on her. She doesn't have 2 for the normal strength.
Yeah, she has. Don't think she has a healing potion on her, but then again, she's the healer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. So we only need 3 then. So 3 times, and you said it would be 25 gold pieces for the normal health potions, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so this is what I've got so far. Is there anything else besides the gloves that we need to figure out later?
Let's see here. Okay, and then the 10 golden pieces worth of summoning material.
Is that coming out of your pocket or the party pocket?
That's coming out of kind of my pocket there, but we basically sent you with, this is Final Fight. Here's all of our stuff. There, go get supplies.
It's just so that we can do the math.
Yeah.
So.
You just take out of his then.
Yeah. I'm not sure why we're bickering about whose pocket it's coming out of there at this point.
Because I'm trying to do the math. Because at the moment you guys gave me 3 individual values of gold and then 1 party group of gold, and I'm trying to math it. Either we dump all of the individual and party gold into one pile and then I can subtract from that, or I need to know which one I'm subtracting stuff from.
I was under the assumption that we were pooling our resources together.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Drake posted the totals just before you.
Oh, the party totals is everybody's put together.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes my life a little easier. Thank you.
Yep.
So
That was the intent the whole time.
okay, so what's the cost of your materials?
That was 10. And 10 gold pieces for 2 sets of the spellcasting components.
10 times 2 or just 10 flat for 2 uses?
Yeah, that's so 5 per, I guess, would be the other way of saying it. And I want 2 of them.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it for my end.
The only other thing that might need to happen, but it won't happen until after this initial shopping spree goes through, because there's the whole thing of Vladimir wanting to look through his maintain and potentially upgrade his revolvers, which will be a separate thing for him.
Okay, so each of us, that is Norelor, Valkin, Vladimir, and Paarth, each of us write down 1 superior health potion.
So who was it again?
Each of us write down 1 for superior health potion.
One of the players? Alright.
Each of the players. So Norelor, Valkin, Vladimir, and Paarth each are writing down 1 superior health potion. Vladimir, you have to add 1 more normal health potion so that you have 2 again. I think it was you that only had 1, right?
No, that's Valkin.
That's Valkin. Yep. So Valkin, you write down, you change your 1 to a 2 for normal health potions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm writing down 2 for Paarth so that he has 2 on him. You can write down the find familiar materials, of course. Paarth wrote down the grappling hook. Who is Paarth taking the rope from?
There.
Vlad will give his rope.
Okay, so hemp rope. How long? 100 feet?
Thought it was 50.
Yeah, 50.
50 feet.
It's 50. Yep.
Okay, so Paarth is taking that off of Vladimir. So, and, right. And, for the 6 potions of greater healing, we need to distribute those out so that they're in different people's pockets. Because they're no use if they're all in Norelor's pocket and then she falls off a cliff or something.
Well, I said they're all in the bag of holding, but
That's
which
what I'm
is
saying. Which is on Norelor. We need to have those in everybody's pockets because if it's in our pockets, we can use them. If they're all in the greater bag of healing, or if they're all in the bag of holding, we would need to run over to Norelor, take it out of her hands, and then spend a turn rummaging for it.
yeah.
So it's 6 potions going 4 ways. How do we want to do this? And actually, it's 6 potions potentially going up to 7 ways. So how do we want to do this?
And there. Let's see. I would say we should probably.
Hold on, I'm being called.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, looks like I'll have to be away for a little bit. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think we're fine. I think we got the coordination stuff mostly figured out. We'll just tell you how many potions to remove from the bag of holding.
Alright.
Yep. Alright. right. I would say make sure that our NPCs each have at least one there, and then,
You want the NPCs to each be holding a greater potion of healing?
oh yeah, graders. Sorry.
If
Let's
that's the case, do you want me to redistribute the normals to each of our NPCs?
yeah, the normal should definitely be given to NPCs there, so they can just kind of do a quick top off of themselves.
Okay, in that
Maybe
case,
one of the graders for Aknon and my father, since they're more frontline fighters.
makes sense. So in that case, Ace.
Yes.
Normal potion of healing, normal strength. One to Akanon, one to Clovis, one to Valkin's father. Can you write those down, please?
Yep, I got it.
The that one normal health potion that was in the bag of holding has been removed, and the other two were provided by Paarth, so those are out. And also, Akanon should be holding, or sorry, is it Akanon and his father?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Akanon and Valkin's father should also each be holding one potion of greater healing.
Okay, sounds good.
As for the rest of the greater healings, one to Paarth, one to Valkin, and I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, we should still have one on Norelor in case she can't cast. So one to each of the party members. So each of us is holding one potion of greater healing.
Sounds like a
So
plan.
you wrote that down there, Aeros and Dawn?
And let's see. For me there,
Yep,
I
I
got
did on mine.
I got one superior, one standard in there, and one greater. Said that a little out of order, but is that correct?
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, with that, I would say also, at least within your general time or so of just shopping, you're able to kind of get everything back and realign it within people's possessions. And was there anything else you wanted to try and do before making your way back?
We figure out the glove thing. I think that is best off camera. And there's no other equipment that you guys can think of that either yourselves or Paarth should have on their person. I tried to think of the usuals, but none of them really make any sense to me except for rations. We need to refresh our rations because surely we've gone through the week of rations by now.
Yeah.
I know that for general rations, let me see how much that is. Shouldn't be too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bunch of silver pieces we can pull from that.
Yeah, it shouldn't cost you too much for that sort of stuff. Usually it's around like 5 silver pieces. But I'd say with your discount, it would just be reduced to 3. So, and then if you get 5, you get an additional 6 for free.
So what is it again? Like, just give me the total for rations.
So rations is 3 silver pieces for 1 day of rations. Though if you buy 5 days of rations, you get a 6th day for free.
So we'll just assume 5 days of rations. So per 5 days of rations, how many silver pieces?
If it's for 5 days, it's 15 silver.
5 days is 15 silver.
Times the number of people in the party.
Yep, getting there. 1 second.
Hmm.
Rations 5 days. And then again, there's us 4 plus Clovis, Acnon, and Datto, which is 7, right?
And there,
Yes.
Are we going with 5 days or 10 days of rations?
and there. Go for 10 days worth of rations, and we'll end up with actually 12.
We'll end up with 12 days?
Yep, because every 5 gets 1 day free.
Right. So 12 days of rations will be 14 times 15 silver pieces, right?
Well, not for. So for the math, then there will just be times 10 days worth of rations.
Oh. So that. 714.
There. Mhm.
Okay. I'll make the new party totals. One moment. Just to double check. How many silver pieces is it until it's 1 gold piece?
I think 1,000.
I believe that's 10 to 1.
Oh, it's 10 to 1.
I believe that's 10 to 1 because it's 1, and it's the same thing from copper to silver.
Right.
So 10 silver pieces is a gold piece?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We eliminate electum, or how you pronounce that nonsense.
So 1 second. 100. Let's try that again.
Okay, there, Zio. Thank you for that, and hope you're doing well today.
Three times 25 plus 2
Frick.
times 5 plus. First, let's just do this.
Doing them math calculations.
Mhm.
And then doing all the silvers. 15 times 14. I like how you're having the worst person doing the math. Yes, have the dyslexic do your counting.
It just shows the amount of confidence we have in you. That's all.
I was going to offer to do it, but you know, you guys start doing it anyway. So I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, easy street.
Yeah, easy street.
What is the rule there for DMs? If the players want to take on calculations or any other GM responsibility, there, let them.
To an
Yeah,
extent.
Unless they're cheating buggers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got that. 1146 minus 215. It's 931. I think I did that right.
Alright. Looks accurate. to me.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah. Wow, we had a lot more gold pieces left over than I thought we were going to.
We still need to consider the gloves, the gun, and any other gizmos you guys want to try to up our strength any. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we
Mhm.
can even consider shit like Alchemist's Fire, for example.
Yeah, but that'll be something for off-stream stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, because this is not the most entertaining thing to watch.
You're total. It's okay. It's okay. I feel like it's better to at least get the health potion stuff taken care of right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would hate just to kind of be like, here's your shopping spree, and then it's like, oh well, there's not much to it, especially since everyone else did a lot of stuff. So I just wanted
Also,
to see if there was any other stuff that you wanted to do with that.
also in fairness, I am just going to say, if your character does not tell other characters that they own something, just omit it from your statement. That's simple. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These are the items in each of our bags. Just roll call out what you have. I'll start. Paarth has medium saddlebags, his collar, which is a spell focus, a bag of caltrops, one pseudodragon-sized nibbled gold coin piece, a gilded lotus worth 300 gold pieces that he uses as a summon for the Fae. He has the gilded Trunarth pendant. He's got an exotic saddle. He now has, and I gotta fix this, 10 days of meat rations. Ace, blue torch. Did it stop working?
Blue torch. Yeah, it would be gone by now.
Okay, so if the blue torch stopped functioning as soon as we left the dungeon, he would have discarded it.
Mhm.
Grappling hook. Superior health potion, 1. Greater health potion, 1. And he's got the 50 feet of hemp rope. Next, I'm passing it to Vladimir.
Okay, so am I reading off the whole thing?
Only items that have at least some bearing of consequence that you want to rattle off to the party. Just so that we all know what each other have in case we go, oh, you really should have X.
Okay, so let's see. The 10 rations, the backpack. Let's see, his ammo pouch, his tinker tools, the monocle, the potions of healing, exotic saddle with the asterisk of currently on Paarth.
For the potions, just double check, what potions do you have on your person?
2 potions of healing, 1 superior and 1 greater.
Good.
And then the 1 vial of I aptly named Mega Pseudodragon poison.
Yep.
Yep.
Which has 1 use. Who are you passing it to next? I guess it
Valkin.
has to go to Valkin next because we don't have Ren, I don't think, yet.
Yep.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Oh.
We're going through inventory. Ren, I added you. Make those changes to your inventory.
Okay.
Okay.
Valkin, go ahead and rattle off your
Yep.
bag.
Crystal Arcane Focus, crowbar, hammer, pinions, torches, tinderbox. Let's see. Rations are going to need to be distributed.
Your rations should now be
Waterskin.
10 days meat, or, well, 10 days for in general rations for you.
Yeah. 12 now, actually, because we bought 2 sets of 5 and 1 free day for a set of 5.
Oh, so what's the number of days we've got?
12. 1, 2.
12. Okay, I'm gonna change this to 12 on our list then. Change your ration days to 12, please. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Water skin there. 50 feet of hempen rope. Bedroll. Scroll of, or false scroll of pedigree. A dragon chest set. Sending stone for Clovis. 2 sets of charcoal and herbs for summoning.
Am I adding the rations to the ones I currently have?
Assuming you've eaten a week of them, yes. Since we left Helm last time, since we left the Helm last time, we've at least eaten a week of rations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and then 2 standard healing potions, 1 greater, 1 superior. fine clothes, signet ring, and that's it.
Considering I gave up my standard healing potions to the NPCs, should I have any standards, or am I good walking around with just the superior and greater?
Let's see.
It probably wouldn't be a bad idea for Paarth to have a couple of normals just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just do this. Minus
Should we go ahead and
50
have bought
GP.
2 extra standard healing potions for himself?
Yep, so I'm adding 2 more standards from me.
Hmm.
So 1 sec.
Mhm.
625 minus 15. 575.
You?
Oh, wait, we had more gold. That was something I forgot to add.
Hmm.
Give me a sec to calculate it.
Okay.
Yeah, so add 100 gold to the total.
Add an additional 100.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I added one thing, but I forgot another thing that needed to be added.
Hmm.
Okay, adding 100 gold to the party total.
Hmm.
So just to confirm, Ren, you're removing all 6 greater potions and the normal healing potion from the bag of holding.
Mm-hmm.
1 greater goes into your own storage, however you want to do it. 1 superior, and the 12 days of rations. The reason we're doing this is the whole idea is if a party member goes down, we want any other party member to be able to get that person up in an emergency, right?
Alright.
If we have to
Makes
run
sense.
to Norelor first, whether or not she's conscious, that wastes a whole turn just grabbing the potion from her.
Right.
Plus, perhaps even more, trying to get back to the down person again.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
It is a definite survival thing, because a perfect example was us escaping from the darkness filling up the dungeon there. If Norelor got knocked down in that first room, we would have had a really bad time.
Mm-hmm.
And for a
There
little bit, you
is-
did.
Yeah, there is one more item I'm curious about, but it'll be another after stream one, Ace, because I don't think it's in the I don't think it's in the standard Dungeon Master's Guide. Weighted fletchings or flechettes.
Yeah, that's not something in the standard.
Are you familiar with what
So I'd have to
weighted
look at
flechettes
that
are?
after stream. Wait, sorry, what was that?
Are you familiar with what weighted flechettes are?
Yeah, that's not something in the standard D&D.
Just
book.
wanted to make sure you knew what I'm referring to at least.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, then I will tell you. Weighted flechettes. Have you ever seen people who throw darts at dartboards? There's the standard darts, and then there's the big fat ones that are like that have a big heavy metal weight in them.
Yes.
They're essentially those, but they're designed to be dropped from the sky. You basically carpet bomb somebody with them, and for D&D rules, it was basically you pick a 5x5 or 10x10 square, depending on how many flechets you want to use, and it deals a random amount of damage based off of a whole bunch of D4 dice. If you're flying above a target at a sufficient height, I think you have to fly over them by at least 20 feet.
I
don't remember what book, but we can look them up later, and if you can't find it, we won't bother with it.
Yeah, that'll be something I'll have to look up later because
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that item. So yeah, we'll have to check later on that.
It's really fun for aerial combat. Is that everything, guys?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think that's about everything.
Okay, besides gun thing and glove thing, we are sorted for shopping spree as far as I'm aware. I'm sure that there's all sorts of wonderful magical items out there, but I'm pretty sure after we deal with the gun upgrade and the gloves, we will not have enough money for even an uncommon magical item, so...
Mm-hmm. Well, okay then. So, I'll say with that amount of time that you've taken to get those things set in order and to really kind of discuss it through properly, or at least be able to be like, wait, hold on, let's count this out and make sure it's all properly contained and brought back to your encampment or so. Like,
My apologies.
at least
One
with
more item.
Oop.
Can I have 12 empty glass vials?
12 empty glass vials.
I see what's going on.
Unless we smashed the potion bottles from earlier, I know we all used a few of them in the last dungeon.
I'm not sure how many bottles we used. We are currently using one that I definitely am using from the one that Norelor used to get Valkin's dad back up, but I don't know how many other used potions we have.
See, I used one in the mix there last time.
So that accounts for one.
I think I'm pretty certain there that Vladimir used another one.
Not throughout the entire time we were in. Not throughout the entire time we were in there. Not in the temple.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
For simplicity's sake, I know it costs like a couple silver pieces for glass vials. What's the cost there, Ace?
So it's 1 gold per glass vial. But because of your discount, you get it's 5 silver. So
A gold for a glass vial? Really?
it's because of how well they're made and precise. In addition to what else is it like? In addition, it can hold up to 4 ounces of liquids, so it's a lot more portable in that regard too.
Okay, I'll just subtract 3 more gold then.
So you get 6 in total.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Any other shopping that you want to do?
Sorry, I remembered that last minute.
You're totally fine. So with
there's
all
the new
of
party
that,
total.
yes. New party total, which looks like which is like 7 gold.
Hmm?
Oh no! Plus there's silver pieces. Oh, I forgot about that. And it's in gold. Okay. So yeah, y'all still got plenty of gold, so you're good.
Yep.
So with all of that shopping done, I would say it takes you about an hour to make sure you can get the items that you're looking for, to secure the inventory, and then make sure that you get it transported back on over. Which would, I assume, finalize everyone else for meeting back up at the camp. Or at least back up at the area that you are residing at in the encampment itself.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, we'll just do a quick thing here and then call off for the session. So it's getting closer to about roughly a bit more closer to the evening, but kind of like between like midday and evening, as you start making your way back and restocking your supplies in full and being able to sit down with your rations and just kind of enjoy it for today. And Akinon gets back a little bit later, closer towards like the beginning of evening, as he is carrying some paperwork with him. He's like, seems like everyone did a good amount of activities while I was gone.
You see Valkin kind of returning to the group there. Seeming as if he had just gone through great exertion there, but doesn't seem to otherwise be like worse for wear or something or anything like that. Like why are you so tired looking?
Right.
After the shopping spree, did Vlad and Paarth do their training as well?
Well, everyone will be meeting up beforehand. So,
so this is before
there's
that.
just a
Gotcha.
small thing, and then people can break for the evening and do that. So, It's like, well, seems like that everyone's here. I just have to go ahead and discuss some details down before we go ahead and make additional plans for the evening. So, which I'm going to go ahead and change the tone of music.
Oh boy!
Oh boy!
Here we go, killing again.
Okay. So, as he sits everyone down, you're all kind of gathered around a circle or so. As he puts down a set of papers, he's like, "I've gone ahead and talked with the one of the higher guards within the HelmHold, and they've given me a bit of good information regarding of how we can kind of plan our assault within the cave itself. Unfortunately, due to their depleted forces across the Sword Coast, we're not going to be able to get any additional help besides this. But it might honestly be better that just the 7 of us handle this." He starts to unfold a map of the location itself, which shows more along the Sword Coast mountains and everything.
And my apologies, Ace. Quick question. I'm assuming Valkin's father can sort himself out for equipping himself, right?
Yeah, he's totally fine.
Okay, I just don't want him still resorting to throwing stones when we could buy him a crossbow or something.
Oh, yes.
He more prefers that sort of close combat than anything. So
Okay, as long as he has sorted himself out equipment-wise, continue.
yeah, he's got himself. He's got some more customized darts instead, so he can toss those around relatively fast and quick. So
And he's given himself light armor or whatever armor's appropriate for him, whatever. Okay.
he's more acquitted towards no armor because he's an unarmored fighter. So
Oh, he's a more monk-ish. Okay.
So, as per the bard's information, the Wave Echo Cave is roughly 15 miles, which is not too far from Phandalin. Though from our location to there, it may be a decent travel throughout the day. We can probably make it at most towards middle of the day, but I would advise that if we rest up during the day and take the trip by nightfall, we can be able to infiltrate the cave at a better location or at a better time. According to some of their lighter scouts and everything, at least that was available to check the location, the bard's tale is actually pretty accurate towards their information. There seemed to be just a little weak kind of lining of, I'm trying to think of the best word for it. It's like those spiked wooden walls and everything that they use. I just can't think of the name of it.
Morning stars?
Oh, that's a weapon.
No. That's it's like when you have like a wooden base, but the walls are spiked at the top of it, and it's like made out of pure like logs and everything.
Oh.
Oh, you're talking about like the defensive structures, the spikes.
Yes, I'm talking about those.
Yeah, like bollards, but diagonal and pointy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Are you talking like palisades?
Is that what it's called? Palisades?
I think so here.
The things to stop war weapon equipment and vehicles from breaking in, though. Those things.
Yes, palisades. A fence or wooden stake or iron railings fixed to the ground. So, yeah. So
I learned 2 things today.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what the name of it was. I was like, I know I've heard of it before. But anyway, so with a sort of weak wooden portable sort of wall, list a rows of palisades, around like 2 or 3 like kind of roughly placed on the ground. And it did seem like that at one point, some of them may actually sprout from the ground itself, as they did see that there was a couple of wild animals that tripped something, and some palisades rose from the ground in some areas.
Ooh, fun. So
Though
they
they
have
don't
ground
have it
stabbies.
exactly, and some that can appear that are hidden. So, if we're going to be doing a frontal assault, it looks more like a suicide attempt. Though, within the denser thicket around the cave itself, on the far left and right, there's not that level of protection. Though
Vladimir.
it
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I thought you were done. Sorry, keep going.
does. You're good. You're good. The structures don't look too stable. I mean, they're enough to kind of keep a decent sort of force to protect it, but it looks very much like of a goblin sort of encampment more than like a well-rounded like a well-rounded establishment like camp that usually you would be well known with the military purposes. And according to the records, it seems as if at the far back of the camp is where they have the cave on full high guard most of the night. Though it doesn't look like they actually have many guards of their own, but rather a mixture of hobgoblins and other goblinoids within the area that are assisting them. But
Oh, so kill it with fire.
it's yes, pretty much. So
And look,
we've got
everyone with that. Continue.
You're good. I do have a few options of how we can proceed. So, if we wanted to go as a combined assault, we could charge straight through and make for the cave post haste. Or we could try to break an opening through the sides and cause some sort of distraction with some of our forces while the rest of us sneak into the cave and be able to essentially take control of it from the inside and prevent whatever your uncle is trying to do within the cave itself.
So, as Vlad is looking over the map, he notices like where the X is for the Wave Echo Cave. He sees what looks like mounds before that X on the left side a little bit. He points to that and goes, "Are these raised platforms?"
Those are more symbolized for hills. There's a surrounding of different hills around the Echo Cave into the mountainscape.
So that just brought an interesting idea to mind. Though it would split us up a little bit further. However, what I'm looking at here is we can do a pincer attack from both sides. Divide forces in half if possible. If not, distract one side so other side can come in, because I like that idea. However, if we had the right stuff, though I have to figure out what that would be, Paarth and I, if those hills are high enough, we could fly over encampment and do aerial, and we can drop stuff while we glide.
Paarth nods in agreement.
Though I don't know how far apart I don't know how far open this valley is in between those two heights.
From what it looks like, each of these blocks is about 5 miles. So I would say it's only about maybe a fraction of a mile. So the hill itself there is roughly within probably a decent portion. Maybe I'd say maybe half a mile at most. At least at this exact location.
That might be a little far for Paarth to glide, but it also depends on what kind of sheer cliff face there would be for mountainside, though.
I feel like I should point out that we do have a couple of potions of invisibility if need be.
There is that. Though I would rather save those for I would rather save those for those of us on the ground.
I can also make myself and Vladimir invisible while we're flying. Then we can rain fire and bullets below as soon as we're in the optimal position. However, I will
Mhm.
need a good launching point.
An aerial assault, and it is unlikely that they would be anticipating that. So it
Right,
would
so when
be-
we do that, we have to hit them hard and fast.
that surprise there, and then flying off in an advantageous direction would probably get at least some of them to pursue, though it would not empty the entire camp. They are not fools.
Oh, I never said they were fools, but it will catch them off guard. Long enough for the pincer attack to really take hold, da?
Yeah.
The only problem with that is that, according to what I was seeing, at least within the camp itself, there do seem to be some war drums within the area too. So, two about
Well-
at most. So, if
well
we're going
then-
to strike
well
at
then-
this cave, we need to be more than just fast. We need to be precise as to where we're targeting.
Then that would be our objective for the aerial. We can try to target the war drums.
There. Well, let me think. The other potential is as you attack there, do not attack the war drums. Let me let me take care of those. They're stationary targets, easy to hit and destroy with some little bits of magic. And
Yeah,
then,
but I do see one major flaw in my plan, though, which I would like to try and figure out how to remedy. I myself am more of a being of precise in single target shots. What my plan proposes would be I would have to have access to massive area damage.
Perhaps Alchemist Fire.
Ooh.
if we have that, you can rain that down. So that would be one option. The other would be perhaps a little less desirable, a different rider for you, Paarth. But regardless, that Alchemist Fire would be very good for whoever ends up assisting in the aerial assault. We go that path.
Yes.
As long as I have a high vantage point to launch from. There's plenty of mountains there, as long as I'm given somewhere safe for me to climb and get high enough.
Of course, what sort of proficiency do each of you have regarding firepower? Because the moment even one spell is casted in that area, it's going to be havoc. So,
Well, if I just tried using my revolvers, it would ring out true. So they would know that we're coming if I use my revolvers.
exactly. And even a simple spell like a fireball or your Eldritch Blast there, Valkin, it's going to cause an immediate alarm. So,
It would have to be timed. I would effectively be in position to target the war drums. I think one of those potions of invisibility would be very useful in that instance. And whenever I saw the bombs falling, I would be able to then destroy the war drums. And whoever takes the other potion would be able to assist me in from closer into camp, while the rest of the party attacks from a direction other than where Paarth and Vladimir would be gliding off to.
I still think an assault like that is pretty risky, but
Yeah, I was thinking.
It's oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking more of just trying to sneak in and carefully deal with them, sneaky like.
If a
It
single
was
one
just-
catches sight of us, they'll all swarm us, and if we do sneak our way in, we will be completely blocked from retreating.
not if we break up into two teams and one of them is a distraction for the outside, while we get the rest of you inside. Clovis speaks up.
That could work.
Then
We have the two
could-
invisibility potions, and I can make myself and one companion invisible.
at that point, it's a matter of who do we want to use as distraction.
Clovis will stand up and he's like, I'll volunteer. Me and Akanon put you in this situation before, so we'll make sure that you can help finish it. Is that right,
Yeah.
Akanon? He stands up too and he's like, I agree.
I'm
I'll
quite
bring
sure.
the firepower.
I am quite sure that if Akanon were to give a loud scream and release his rage, he will bring the attention of the entire location. I've seen when Akanon rages, he can bring down an entire town if he is into it.
Yes.
Well, he would certainly need that kind of strength and tenacity to deal with the kind of numbers that we have heard of.
Well, that's no worries at all. As he just like cracks his like fingers and everything, cracks his neck. It's like, even know that those may be your men there, Valkin. I'll make sure that I bring them back to ashes.
Well, would it be? Excuse me. If it is possible to leave them lying unconscious on the ground, there it would be preferable. But you must do what you must do, and they have chosen to follow my uncle. Oath or no, there is a greater duty into our people than blind obedience.
Ivan speaks up as you say that. It's like, Vulcan, while I appreciate you being so generous to them, they've been assisting your uncle for this time being. They're traitors. Now, we can try to, neutralize them in that regard, non-lethally, but this needs to be a quick assault. We can't delay them for too long.
I know. And it is one of those. If an opportunity for a strike to crush the larynx versus one that would incapacitate them and is an option, it would be nice for incapacitation instead of one that would cause them to suffocate.
Fine. And Ivan will stand up too. It's just like, I will be the one in charge of that then. So, the three of us will go ahead and be your distractions.
But under no circumstances do I wish any of you to pull your punch, as it were, such that they would not. They would have an opportunity to deal you great harm in an attempt to abide by such a wish.
In other words, give them hell.
That's what I like to hear, Akanon says.
So meanwhile, you're doing the distraction. We try to sneak in quietly.
Exactly. Clovis speaks up. Is like, I'll go ahead and see if I can get you an opening on the north side of the encampment. You can sneak around while we attack from the front, aka from the west. When we do that, if you hear the sound of explosions, it's time to sneak on in. Oh, and this will help you. And he like kind of goes through his belongings and like, I made sure to grab this while we were in the temple, but I wanted to make sure I kept it hidden. And he hands out to you all a scroll of it looks like to be a magic scroll. Pass without trace.
Ah,
Ooh.
Right. Oh no, Lord, go. Why don't you go ahead and tuck this into our bag of holding?
it's what, 4 scrolls of bags without of pass without trace.
Mm-hmm.
It's only one scroll, so it's one use only.
Okay.
So with that, I think we're prepared for tomorrow. So
I think so. Alright.
with
Then,
oh, go ahead.
we had best all rest up and get prepared.
Well, I have a couple other things left I still need to do.
Of course. Any final preparations that will need to be made, we should do it tonight. And we'll make sure to make our travel near midday tomorrow. So make sure you're well rested. And with
Alright.
that, yeah.
Just, he was just gonna say, all right, sounds like a plan.
Yep. And then I will say that for the rest of the evening, you go ahead and just do any necessary preparations before resting at the middle of the night. And we can talk about those specific ones off stream, as right now I'm going to go ahead and call it for today's session.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Well, alrighty then. So,
All right.
yeah. So I would do something in addition to this. But it is getting pretty close for me to be able to do anything extra. So I think I'm just gonna call the stream for here at this time. Tomorrow I will not be streaming because it is Father's Day, and I'll be spending time with my dad along with some other people. So, the next time that you will see me stream is, I believe, on the 19th. Yes, the 19th, where I will be playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, which I hope I can finally beat this fucking boss. So,
One of these days, you gotta play Yakuza as a dragon.
that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe the next one. But with that, let's see who we can raid on off to today.
Alright.
Well, I know it was a much quieter session, but we got a lot of important things set up and ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was still good though. It was kind of necessary. So.
Yep.
Indeed.
And just to bring forward, just so the viewers know what's going on, off camera for the game, we will probably discuss the gloves for Vladimir, so that he can hold his machete while it's red hot, the improvement to his guns he wanted to look into, and then we'll consider options such as if we want to buy any Alchemist's Fire, any poisons, and if we need to double check for things like ammo.
And also, don't forget training for Paarth and the finalization stuff for Norelor.
Yes, of course.
Alright.
And then, just to kind of make sure to see if we have an idea on things. next session, I believe, would usually be on the 30th. Unfortunately, that is when I am celebrating my father's birthday, so I won't be available on the 30th.
All right.
So if we want to do like the 29th or so, around the same time.
I think that's possible. I would have to verify at the beginning of that week.
All right, and then so we'll aim for the 29th here, but keep an eye on Ace's socials there. Since being the dungeon master and all that there, he's primarily in charge of making sure that goes out.
For sure.
All right. So with that, do we have any suggestions on who to raid here?
I do actually. So my good friend Tiki is playing Indigo Park right now.
Ooh, all
and
right.
I have not raided off to Tiki in quite a while.
Then let's go say hi to Tiki.
And let me go ahead and I will send the name in chat. But yeah, with that, everyone, I do appreciate you all hopping on in for today's game. I know that it was a bit delayed and it was a bit shorter than usual, but hopefully when we get back onto a rhythm and everything, then next session will be epic. So
Yes, much combat.
yes. And with that, if you're raiding off on my end, my raid message is Ace of Raids, followed by your favorite raid emotes.
And from me, that is the shadows have come to play with your favorite emotes following that. Right. Let's see. Next time I'll be streaming there will be this Wednesday for Baldur's Gate. There. Is that right? Yeah, I got my.
That was last Wednesday, so it'd be not this upcoming Wednesday, but the next Wednesday.
Okay, there. So that would be the targeting the 29th or the 26th there for Baldur's Gate.
That's correct.
Gotta make a sequel or a mod for it called Baldur's 2Pay.
Well, thank you so much for hopping on, everybody, and I hope you have yourself a great day.
Take care, everybody.
Good night. And day.
Bye bye.